Mom life is complicated. If you've been feeling overwhelmed and looking for some real relatable insights into mom life, you've found the right podcast. In this inaugural episode of the Mom Life Handbook podcast, we're talking all about the 5 ways this show is designed to uncomplicate your life and what you can expect from future episodes so that you can simplify mom life and have a greater sense of confidence and ease as you keep up with the demands of modern day mom life. If that's what you need in your life today, you're in the right place. Let's simplify things together. I'm Erin Christopoulos, a mother of 2 and teacher-turned-mom strategist who puts the pieces of mom life together so you don't have to. I get that you're short on time and don't have the capacity to figure out everything on your own, which is why I'm here to help you get clear on where to put your focus while protecting your time and energy so you can actually enjoy these years with your little ones. I'm ditching the overwhelming and unrealistic one-size-fits-all tactics and replacing them with an approach that's practical and personal, because I believe your family is one of a kind with its own qualities and values that deserve an adaptable approach, offering support and encouragement where you need it most. From honest conversations and mindset shifts to practical tips and sustainable strategies, consider this your customizable guide to mom life. With the tools and resources you need at your fingertips, you'll finally have the confidence and clarity you need to bring more intention and ease to everyday life so that you and your family thrive. This is the Mom Life Handbook. Welcome to the very first episode of the Mom Life Handbook podcast. I'm your host, Erin Christopoulos, and I have to tell you, this show has been months in the making, but I'm so glad that we're finally here, and the journey to really figure out what kind of show would feel the most helpful and supportive to modern day moms has been so eye-opening and refreshing. So I've really come to embrace the journey to get here, and I'm glad that the day has finally come that I can share this with all of you. It's really my goal to make sure that this is a podcast that you can rely on to provide a unique perspective. I first and foremost don't want this to be a show that's just about parenting. I'm definitely not here to gripe, although I think that keeping it relatable is really important. I also don't want to keep this textbook or formulaic. I think that we really have to start having open, honest, authentic conversations about mom life in order to really help build your confidence and help you shape it into something that you truly love and feel like it's your own. I'm also not interested in complicated episodes that take 45 minutes to listen to. I want these to be shorter, more bite-sized episodes that you can listen to on the go, because I know that you're really busy. Your time is precious and I want to make the most of it. And I'll share a little bit more about my take on mom life as we work through this episode, but I think that it's really important to note that what I was really clear on is I wanted to keep things practical, actionable, encouraging, and transformative. I want this to be a show that's worth your time, that you really feel like you get something out of every episode that makes a difference in your everyday experience as a mom. To give you a little bit of background on how I started Mom Life Handbook and the intention that's behind it, I had been a teacher for years before I became a mom, and I was a leader in not only my building, but in the districts that I was a part of. And I had really become someone who not only really related well with kids, and enjoyed working with every personality, even some students who, yes, maybe were challenging and definitely tested my limit, but I still was always able to build really great relationships with them, while also having a really deep understanding of what it takes to be an effective teacher. And a lot of that came from a very deep understanding, not only about kids' development and how to support it, but also being really in touch with the experiences of my kids' families and how best to support their parents in being involved in their child's education and development as a whole. And I thought that because I had such a handle on all of these aspects of education, that those would be transferable to my own motherhood, that things would come really easily to me, that I'd know how to handle tantrums really easy, that I'd always stay calm when my kid was pitching a fit, or that I knew what to expect as my kids developed. And, if they struggled, I'd know how to help them. What I didn't account for, and it came up so quickly after becoming a mom, was just how hard it was going to be to manage it all, to take care of myself while also taking care of my newborn, to go to work every day while also having to keep my household up and running so my kids had clean clothes and healthy food to eat, and a mom who was connected and present with them and not burned out and exhausted all the time. And I distinctly remember sitting with a friend and asking her, why did no one tell me just how hard this is? Because I know it was hard for other people too. So how is it that of all the people I know who've had a kid before have failed to tell me just how hard it is? And of course, I don't resent anyone for not telling me, but it really identified this fault in our parenting system where we just don't talk about the challenges of motherhood in a constructive, supportive way. We don't offer each other the insights in a way that's accessible or adaptable. I think there's plenty of information out there on what's the right way or the wrong way to parent. What we're missing, though, is that sense of support without judgment. I think that we really need a place where we can go to where we feel seen and validated and supported in our experiences, while also being given the resources, the strategies, and the tools that actually help you make the changes that you need in order to feel more effective as a mom. I want to be a source of support that helps you navigate mom life while also encouraging you to create your own experience that fits your personality, your values, your lifestyle, and your family dynamic. There's no one person who can just tell you what to do, but I do believe that you can be given the support you need in order to make that happen. And we're going to dive into that so much over the course of all the episodes in this podcast, but I think that will even shine through as we talk about how you can get started with uncomplicating your own life as a mom. To give you a little bit more context about why I feel so strongly about this, in my nearly 15 years in the classroom, I specialized in intervention for students. It was my job to identify students who were really struggling in the classroom and figure out what it was that they needed in terms of support, whether that was academic support or behavioral support, and then provide it to them in order to really tease out, is there some gap in their learning that we need to support? Or is there developmental delay that hasn't been identified? Or is there really something bigger at play, like a health impairment or learning disability that's preventing them from making progress in the classroom? And in the course of my time specializing in intervention, I really learned that there's never an effective one-size-fits-all approach, and that the real magic in education is learning how do we contextualize what our kids need to learn in a way that is accessible to them and really clicks with their personality, their learning style, their capacity to learn. And everyone can be uniquely supported. And I really believe that that needs to be made available in the parenting space as well. I don't want to just be a source of more information for you. I really want you to learn about yourself as an individual and learn how to take parenting advice and learn how to take all the information that's available to you out there and contextualize it to your own life and really adapt it and make it work for you. So you're going to find that everything that I ever create for Mom Life Handbook is something that you can really personalize and make your own. I also want to give you permission that you can learn with an open mind, but also recognize when something isn't right for you. You can't always take on everyone else's ideas and expect that they're going to be a good fit. But I do hope that in our time together, you see the ways that these ideas, concepts, and approaches really can be malleable and fit in a way that feels really supportive and betters your life as a mom. With all that said, let's dive into the ins and outs of how this show is specifically designed to help you discover the approaches that do feel supportive and right for you, so that mom life feels more intentional while also learning how to become more self-compassionate, confident, satisfied, and even joyful in your day-to-day experience, not only as a mom, but who you are as an individual as well. I think one of the most important ways that all of us can uncomplicate our lives is to bring in more intention. It's so important that you preserve your energy and sanity for what matters most, because especially as a parent, your time is precious. It matters how you spend it. I think largely that's why I want to make sure that these podcast episodes are on the shorter side so that you can easily listen to them in the little pockets of time where you find yourself doing some cooking or cleaning or you're commuting, so that you can really get the most out of your efforts while also making progress at the same time. I want you to use this podcast as your opportunity to learn how you can bring more intention to your life so that you become less reactive. I think that when we're constantly living in this place of just reacting to everything that's going on around us in our busy lives, we really struggle to focus on prioritizing and focusing on what matters most. When we flip that approach and bring more intention to how you do things, you end up saving time, feeling less overwhelmed in the long run. And those are what really help you feel more in control of your everyday life. And because you feel more in control, you start to notice ways you can become more proactive. And all of these really do help you become less reactive over time. And I think so many of us are trying to do so much and we're so well-intentioned. And when those expectations fall short, it's only natural to feel reactive, but that doesn't feel good to us either, right? So my goal is to help you make things less complicated by taking a pause and becoming more intentional. And to be clear, this isn't just about routines. I know that a lot of creators out there understand the value and the benefit of structure and routine. And I am definitely in the camp of, yes, we need routine in our lives. It's what brings you a little bit of predictability, and with that structure comes some freedom. So that is important. But I don't believe that routines alone are going to make you as a mom more satisfied or happy. An organized household doesn't make you fulfilled as a mom. So this is really about, when we talk about bringing intention to your life, it's not just in how you approach day-to-day tasks, but it's also about creating an approach to mom life that really helps you get clear on your values, how to play to your strengths, choosing to put your efforts where they matter most. That is so satisfying. So by tuning into the Mom Life Handbook podcast, you get really clear on what matters to you. And I'm going to be making sure that you have access to expert advice and evidence-based information to ensure that the guidance I'm giving you is reliable and will help you create a more intentional life in the long run. Add in on top of that the customizable solutions that can fit diverse lifestyles and preferences. You're going to find that the adaptable nature of these episodes really can fit your unique needs, which I think is everything. I hope you find that the time invested in listening to this podcast leads to long-term benefit. You're going to find that you're more efficient, and when you're more efficient, you create capacity and space for a more intentional life. The second way we're going to focus on uncomplicating your mom life is to create space for self-compassion. I want you to be able to take mom life in stride without any guilt. I think we're all so aware of our shortcomings, and we don't give ourselves enough opportunity to practice self-compassion. We're constantly walking this tightrope where we're trying to balance work and parenting and our personal life and managing our households. And that's a really hard balance to strike. I really view self-compassion as that safety net that can catch us when we inevitably do fall. Without self-compassion as a part of your approach, you'll find that you probably fall more into self-blame or mom guilt, whereas self-compassion really helps you feel more held and supported by understanding and kindness to yourself. And that allows you to get back up and continue with more confidence. So you're going to find that this podcast extends beyond just your role as a mom and addressing your overall well-being and personal growth, because they all come into play when it comes to making sure that you do have a sense of balance and that you also have a really good sense of where and how you can support your shortcomings so that you feel more confident and less hard on yourself. So you're going to find that many of our episodes really focus on that self-compassion piece, practicing self-care and personal development. Those are crucial for everyone, and the podcast is going to provide tips and strategies to help you achieve this. We're going to explore better ways to manage your time and your efforts while also shifting your mindset around which expectations are realistic and which ones are just noise that you can ditch altogether. Mom life isn't one and done. It's a journey. So we need to find ways to be more self-compassionate, to simplify all of the emotional attachment that comes with it. I get it. Mom life can be a lot. And that's why I created the Focus Finder quiz. This free interactive quiz is custom made for moms like you who are looking for some clear direction in navigating the challenges of everyday mom life. Answer just a few quick questions, and you'll receive personalized results that showcase your mom's strengths and highlight any areas where you might be struggling. Plus, I'll send you a printable resource that offers simple, effective strategies to help you bring focus to the parts of your life where you need it most. If you're ready to say goodbye to the chaos and hello to ease, then it's time to take the Focus Finder quiz. Head to momlifehandbook.com/quiz right now to take the quiz and get your personalized results and resources today. I also want you to find this podcast as a place that really builds your confidence. I want you to learn how to listen to your inner voice and make decisions that are right for you and your family. I love the name Mom Life Handbook because I had so many people that would tell me when I first became a mom, like, oh, well, like being a parent doesn't come with a handbook. And I'm thinking like, well, you know what? It really should. We shouldn't have to do it alone. We shouldn't have to figure it out on our own. But there is going to be this point where if you don't have something to go off of, you end up in a place of a lot of self-doubt. Without a handbook, we're so often left wondering, am I even doing this right? We experience so much self-doubt when faced with the challenges of being a mom. And I want this podcast to be a place where you hear relatable stories and that the content feels really supportive in a way that you can really start to recognize through reflection that you're actually right on track. You're exactly where you should be. And I want you to start feeling more confident in your decisions as a result. There is so much comparison and criticism too, especially in social media, that I want this podcast to offer a more shared experience in learning through the process. I want you to know that this is a place where mistakes are welcome. We aren't focused on perfection, we're focused on progress. And you're going to find that your own experiences are going to shape who you are as a mom. So I want you to really take what you hear in this podcast, use it as your opportunity to reflect and to really get to know yourself on a deeper level. That reflection, that practice is really going to help you understand yourself so clearly and help you become more confident that, you know what, you're actually doing so much right. And you've made so much progress over time. And your progress is going to continue as you move forward. And that is filled with so much hope and helps you feel more capable in taking on the complications that are thrown your way every day as a mom. Something else that I want to do to ensure that you feel more confident is give you the tools that you need that are going to feel practical so that they're really accessible and convenient to use and will fit into your busy schedule. But I also want to teach you things like, how do you set boundaries effectively without feeling guilty about it? Like, how do you really feel good about that on the inside? How do we cut out the second guessing? How do we listen to our intuition? These are all things that are going to lead to so much more confidence for you as a mom. The fourth way I want this podcast to support you in simplifying mom life is to help you feel more satisfied. I want you to create more time and space for what really matters most. When you get more intentional about where you spend your time and energy, you find that you have a greater capacity to balance out your efforts. This show is going to help you reframe the concept of mom life balance and whether it's really attainable. I want to lend the perspective that helps you shift your mindset toward what really matters most so that you can pull out of the mess and the messiness of mom life and have a sense of calm amidst that chaos. I know that mom life balance may not really be a thing, but when we sell ourselves on the idea that it isn't possible at all, we really resign ourselves to this place of self-sacrifice, and that just leaves us feeling really drained and a shell of our former selves, which of course does you and your family no favors. I want to see you investing in your personal fulfillment because it's ultimately going to benefit your family as a whole. I like to think of it as heading to like your favorite yoga or Pure Barre F45 class. Like, think about how much easier it is to stick through a challenging workout because there's camaraderie and greater motivation inherent in these group settings. In the same way, when you dedicate time to your own personal interests and hobbies, it can have a powerful and uplifting effect not only on your overall well-being, but your entire family. As you grow and thrive individually, you inspire and support those around you in your home and ultimately contribute to a more harmonious and joyful family environment. It's really hard to accomplish that when you aren't thriving yourself. So I really want to help you get a clear idea of the mom life that you want to have and how to get there. We're going to ditch self-sacrifice because you're going to begin to see the impact it's having on your confidence, and how in turn you're struggling to show up for your family as the best version of yourself. When you're more satisfied, you're going to notice increased energy and motivation because you're engaging in activities that excite and inspire you. You feel recharged and energized, which positively impacts your overall productivity and effectiveness as a mom. You also will find that your self-esteem and self-worth increase as well. When you prioritize your interests and passions, you're sending a powerful message to yourself that you're valuable and deserving of care and attention. And when you really believe that about yourself, you're improving your mental well-being. Taking time for yourself helps reduce stress, anxiety, burnout, and all of that leads to improved mental health and a more positive outlook on everyday life. I want you to learn how to carve out some time and energy for what fuels you. Because when you do that, you create the capacity to balance out mom life between who you are as an individual and your role as a mom, which is so important. And you're going to find that as a result, your relationships will be stronger. When you are happier and more fulfilled, it reflects in your interactions with your loved ones and helps you foster deeper connections and promote healthier relationships. And of course, when you take time to do things that help you feel more satisfied, you're showing your kids positive examples of the importance of self-care, the importance of making time for your personal interests. It really teaches your kids the value of a well-rounded life and encourages them to prioritize their well-being in the future as well. I know you've got more on your plate than anyone could realistically take on, and sometimes finding time to simplify your mom life can feel impossible. Did you know the average mom works 98 hours a week? It's no wonder you're craving a more manageable approach to everyday life. You deserve a life where you feel more in control, intentional, and present. That's where Mom Life Handbook Plus subscription comes in, providing you with the tools and resources you need to create the mom life you've always wanted. With the Plus subscription, you'll gain access to bonus episodes that dive deeper into each week's main topic to help you take action without a whole lot of effort. You'll also find downloadable resources you can't get anywhere else and invites to live subscriber-only Q&A sessions. I'm here to support you every step of the way. Start your free trial subscription to Mom Life Handbook Plus in Apple Podcasts today, and let's simplify mom life together. Lastly, I really want this show to help you live a more joyful life. Prioritizing joy as a busy mom, you might feel overwhelmed by the darkness of all the stress and exhaustion, just all the hard of mom life. By finding ways to embrace joy, it's like flipping on the switch and lighting up the space around you. Having that light in your life makes it easier to navigate the room, see the beauty of your surroundings, and share that warmth with those around you. By finding ways to bring more joy into your life, you'll continue to see improved mental and emotional well-being, better relationship, increased resilience that helps you navigate the challenges and setbacks, and will actually help you be more productive and feel more creative. When you make room for joy, you often find yourself more focused and inspired and motivated to tackle tasks and projects. And of course, there's always the law of attraction. When you are vibrating at a higher level, the people around you are going to be attracted to that and vibrate higher as well. So you really see the difference when you focus on bringing joy into your life, how your home and your family will feel more joyful as well. By tuning into the Mom Life Handbook podcast, I hope you find that your life transforms. I hope as you begin to tune in to the episodes of the Mom Life Handbook podcast that you really see the ways in which it's transforming your life. It's my hope that you become more intentional so that you preserve your energy and sanity for what matters most. That you're more self-compassionate because you're able to take mom life in stride without the guilt. That you're more confident because you know how to listen to your inner voice and know how to make decisions that are right for you and your family. That you're more satisfied because you create time and space for what really matters most. And that you're more joyful so that your high vibration attracts even more good into your life as a mom. And remember, I want this podcast to become your go-to place for becoming a more intentional, self-compassionate, confident, satisfied, and joyful mom. Trust me, you deserve every bit of that happiness. I know that modern day mom life can be overwhelming at times, and you might feel like you're constantly running on empty. But that's where I come in. I'm here to reassure you that it doesn't have to be that way. By being here, you're opening the door to change, growth, and an abundance of love and support. And in case you're feeling ready for the next step towards that change, remember that you can head to momlifehandbook.com/quiz and take my Focus Finder quiz. It's fun, it takes less than a minute, and your personalized results will give you a better understanding of your personal strengths and the areas you can focus on to truly thrive in your mom life. It's a great starting point for the work we're going to do together on this podcast. And if you're ready for more of the podcast, episode 2 is already waiting for you. We'll get into the struggles of balancing your busy schedule and how to know when it's time for a change. So trust me, you don't want to miss that one. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to tune in. It means so much to me to be a source of support in your life. And as we wrap up this week's episode, remember, mom life is complex, but it doesn't have to be complicated. Here's to leading with purpose and intention as you simplify mom life in the week ahead. You've just finished another episode of the Mom Life Handbook podcast. Remember to check out the episode description for all the important links and highlights from today's show. While you're there, tap the subscribe button so that new episodes are always at your fingertips. Before you go, I'd really appreciate hearing your thoughts about the show. It takes as little as 30 seconds to leave a review, and your honest thoughts help me create a better show and help other moms discover it too. And if this episode really helped you out, go ahead and hit the share button to text it to a friend or share it on social media. You never know who in your life might benefit from a little extra support. Don't forget, there are lots of ways to stay connected beyond the podcast. Head over to momlifehandbook.com for additional resources or to learn about how to work with me. And be sure to follow along on Instagram at Mom Life Handbook. Send me a DM to say hey or to share your thoughts on today's episode. Connecting with you personally is what I really love most. And just in case you need to hear it today, you're doing an incredible job. I know it doesn't always feel like it, but you're here, learning how to be better and do better. Keep working to bring more intention and ease into your life, and know that I'm right here cheering you on. You're creating a beautiful journey for you and your family. I am so proud of you.